Welcome back to another episode of yours, Druelee. It is I, as always, your host, Druelee, of course. I hope everyone is having a nice, warm, sunny weekend wherever you are. Let's get straight into the episode. So on the last episode, I've talked about closing behind your door after ending a relationship. It's a lot harder to do, and I can honestly relate. The longer you have the door open, you are not allowing yourself to move on. Once you close that door, I will guarantee you that new ones will open and greater things will come your way. So on this episode, I'll be talking in depth about the lessons I've learned after my divorce and what I'm currently doing now to continue my healing journey so that I don't repeat history. So let's get going with the first portion of this episode, and that would be the lessons I've learned after divorce. I have 5 of them. I'll just go through them with you. So the first thing that I've learned after divorce is that you are already enough. It's just that you were too much for that person who couldn't see or be on your level. Similar to the saying, be yourself and people will accept you. People will choose you even if you are a bad or a good person. For example, if you are a smoker or an alcoholic, if you steal or if you cheat, people are going to accept all of those. There is someone who will accept you for who you are. If you meet someone and you don't like certain things about them, or what people consider that as like red flags, that is up to you to make the decisions on whether or not you want to continue the relationship with them. You have the power to choose people in your life. More importantly, you are enough for someone. Just because the person you broke up with said that you were too much or that they couldn't handle your demands, needs, and wants from them, it's because you were not for them. If you were able to give yourself love wholeheartedly, know how to respect boundaries, and listen to your partners when they are telling you things that are bothering them, and yet they can't do the same for you, don't waste any more of your time trying to convince them to see who you are. More importantly, you need to know that you are enough. When you realize what a bomb-ass person you are going to attract people like yourself and even better people out there, okay? So that's the first thing that I learned after my divorce. The second thing that I learned after my divorce is that the person who left you were just using you for their own benefits. Yes, sad to say, but all I gotta say is that if you truly believe you are an empath, like me, a person who has and no common sense, who knows from right and wrong, who can take self-accountability and is willing to do whatever it takes to change for the better, they know you are that person. And because they themselves can't reach to your level of kindness or the personality you already possess, they are only with you so that they can gain your great qualities that they are lacking. For example, going back to Lost Boy, okay? From what I can see is that Lost Boy was never a happy person. I can see and sense that when he was with me, he was much happier and he felt so much love. People that we know, such as family, friends, and even coworkers, and honestly, they can tell that he wasn't happy. Although I no longer talk to him, no communication whatsoever, I still see him at work and I can sense his vibe of sadness, shame, and of course, anger. I don't need to look at him to know, but whenever he lingers around me, like 5 feet away from me, 10 feet away from me, like I can sense his presence and it's not positive energy that I'm sensing. People at work can clearly see that he's more quiet and he's keeping to himself. And I remember when we were still together, working together, he was so loud, happy, fucking cocky, and full of ego. And it's like really unnecessary shit at work. There are days I couldn't even stand him just because it's just no point for him to be so like childish and being too much at work. But now that we're not together anymore, he's just super quiet on his part. For me, I'm always the quiet person. I just kept to myself, even before and after we were together. And at work, I just kept it professional. And to this day, I'm still quiet. I go in and come out. I come and go, and that's it. I'm here for the money and then leave afterwards. So I didn't need to fake anything or try to become someone who I'm not. But Lost Boy, on the other hand, was doing that. And people can clearly see it. Even I can see it too, But aside from that, once those people realize that you are going to see your worth and that they know that you are capable of living your life without them, they will leave so that they don't have to deal with being abandoned, or they can find somebody easily to manipulate and try to suck all of their energy, because again, they don't have the kind of energy and the kind of personality, the kind of qualities that you have, because you're a bomb ass person and they're not, and they know that. You figure them out, you figure out their ways, you figure what they're trying to do to you, and you are not that easy for them to use. So that's the first part. Person who left you, they're just using you for their own benefit. That's it. And to tie that to the third part that I learned after my divorce is that the person who leaves you, they never loved you from the beginning. It's sad to say, they never loved you from the beginning. People say that if they loved you from the beginning, they would have accepted all of you. Be willing to change and go through the toughest problems any couples will face. If they didn't hesitate to leave, to talk things out, and it was just easy for them to, fuck it, I'm out of this kind of situation, they never loved you. They may say, I love you, but do they really know what love is? I remember the time when me and Lost Boy had a chance to, have that one last talk with each other. It was after our divorce. Again, it was just trying to finalize our finances, I guess. And we have this conversation where, we didn't have any issues with each other. It was as if like we were friends again, or we were trying to get to know each other again. Like during the phase when we were trying to get to know each other and start a new relationship, it was that kind of feeling. Super weird. Like towards the end of our marriage, we came to that point again. It was kind of weird, awkward, but that happened. And, we were just talking about life and what was he's up to. Him, I guess, working out again, which I know for a fact that that's not gonna last. But he was just telling me that, I'm doing this challenge and I'm working out and this and that. And then he had the audacity to talk about his baby mama and how she's an amazing person, that she's a Christian, and she taught him so many things during the small period of time that they were together, I guess, for like a month or so. I don't know. But I'm like, okay, cool. She's an amazing person. And then he started to mention and started saying that throughout the time that we were together, he loved me, but he wasn't in love with me. And I felt like my life took a pause. A second of my life stopped as I had to process that phrase, repeating in my head that he said that he loved me, but he was not in love with me. I had to ask myself this question: what's the difference between loving someone and being in love with someone? I was able to find an article on this website called sixthsensehealing.com. The title is called The Brutally Honest Difference Between Loving Someone and Being in Love with Someone, written by Sabrina Huang. And she uses 8 examples to illustrate the difference in loving someone and being in love with someone. So I will go through all of the 8 of those differences, and just go ahead and read the article. I'll post that on my Facebook page so that you guys can read all 8 of those in depth. But first one is, you choose to love someone. Being in love isn't a choice. The second one is, love means wanting the best. Being in love means putting them first. Third, love can end. Being in love cannot. Fourth, loving a person means always needing them. Being in love means having a balance. 5, loving is a rush. Being in love has many emotions. 6. Loving means how the person makes you feel. Being in love means how you make them feel. 7. Loving means ownership. Being in love is a partnership. And lastly, number 8, loving is an uphill battle. Being in love is simply effortless. So again, go ahead and check the article out. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of information on the internet that you can do your own research to get more in depth of the difference between I love you and I'm in love with you, because there is a difference on those two. But mine, you could say my definition of love, especially the phrase I love you, like I feel like it's a word that people use so lightly. It's like, you have to understand what love is. Like, I don't know what love is, but I'm just letting you guys know what my definition is and how I view love, and what my love is when it comes to loving a person. Again, you can say I love you to anybody. You can say I love you to your fur babies. You can say I love you to your parents, your friends, your siblings, your loved ones, your husband, wife, whoever. It's a word that is used freely, I guess. But some people don't know what it truly means. And for me, I feel like in love has a lot more meaning in depth when people use that. My thing is that when you are, for me, when I am in love with a person, let's say you have a plate of chicken nuggets, okay? I know, stupid example, but we'll just use that example for now. You have a plate of chicken nuggets. You both are eating it, okay? And then once you guys are eating it, there's the last piece that's in the plate. You guys fighting over who gets to eat the last piece, right? For me, I would rather to give that last piece to my man. If I have a man, I would give him the last piece, because I love him so much. Like, hey, I love you so much, I'm willing to give you the last piece. Now, if he loves you in return, what he'll do is, of course, you guys are going to go back and forth and fight over, no, you take the last one. No, you take the last one, right? But let's say that he gives in and he's like, okay, fine, I'll take it. If he truly is in love with you, you know what he's going to do? He's going to split the chicken nuggets in half. That way he gets a piece and you get a piece. But it was me, if I get half of that piece, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to cut my half of the chicken nuggets and give him the other half. If he does the same thing and it's like back and forth to the point where you guys have this small little piece, that's what I call love. That's what I call being in love with that person, because you're sacrificing that last piece of chicken nugget for that person to eat. So I know it's just like a weird, funny example, but me, like I said, I would rather have my man eat the last chicken nuggets because I love him and I just want him to have the last piece. But I kind of want him to do that in return to me, just so that I know that, he's in love with me too. Anyways, another example of my definition of love is, people say that when you're in love with this person, you can't breathe. You have a hard time breathing. Your time stop. It's just like there's no one in the room besides the both of you. You can't imagine your life without them. Especially when, let's say you're out with friends or family, right? And then they happen to mention, I was just using me for an example. No, yeah, I was using me as an example. Let's say I'm dating a guy, right? Talking about me to his family or friends, and then somehow I suddenly appear into the room, and then you can honestly tell when a person is in love with you is based on their eyes. When they lock eyes on you, when you enter the room, their eyes somehow sparkles. It's like they're so in awe of you, like so speechless, like there's no words can describe you. And for me, like I can honestly tell when someone is in love with a person based on their eyes. I don't know, but for some reason I just can tell. It's like when that person looks at the person that they're in love, it's like they can't keep their eyes off of you. And it doesn't matter if they're, I don't know, talking to friends or family or overall, it just doesn't matter. Once you come into the room, once you're in the presence of them, like their eye sparkles, it lights up. And for me, I can see that when they do that, like they're in love with that person. I don't know how to explain it, you guys, but I somehow can just see that. I can see that when someone is truly in love with that person, their eyes tells it all. And when you talk about this person to families and friends or just anybody, there's just so much emotions. It's like no words can describe how much love you get from this person. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, you guys. But like I said, when you talk about this person or someone asks you, so how did you meet this person? And then you start talking about, oh, yeah, I met this person from here and here. We started talking, getting to know this person. And then, I don't know, the way that a person describes you and like how positive and how like loving you are as a person, oh, you know damn well that person is in love with you. Like, again, you guys, I don't know, but from the way that I see it, okay, hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from. The way that you can tell that a person loves that person is when you walk in the room or your name is mentioned, you could just see sparkles in their eyes. You can see that they have their eyes on you. And also when they talk about you, it's all good things. It's just to the point where you are filled with so much emotion. It's like nothing can describe the person that they're with. And also, no matter if you bump heads, because I know some people can be very stubborn. They like certain things to be said and done. And if you have both people who are very stubborn and you're both always bump head all the time, you know, if you truly love that person or if you're in love with that person, you're willing to let that person win just because it could be numerous things. It could be one, you want this person to look stupid or be stupid. Another reason would be just to stop all this drama and whatnot, or it's just because you love that person enough to just let them win. Because when they win, then it makes you feel happy that they win, I guess. That's how I see what love is. More like selflessness, sacrifice, giving. Like I mentioned, the last chicken nugget. Oh yeah, that's falling in love. But I did have to ask myself this question too. As in for Lost Boy, I have to ask myself, did I really love him? Or was it all just something different? I had to ask myself that. It's like, throughout my relationship with him, did I truly love him? And my answer is yes, I did. I felt like in the beginning I did. However, as I was in this relationship with him, as years went by, a lot of resentment kept building up. And I've come to a point where I didn't love him anymore. The thought of just having him with me and him just validating that he's there, it just wasn't enough. And I soon realized that even though I love him, but I stopped being in love with him. All of the emotions that I once had towards him, gone. I've come to realize that I have to, like I mentioned in my previous episode, started to love myself again, starting to pour into me more than pouring into him, just because he wasn't reciprocating the love that I needed him to give me. Like I always say, you know, even though we're not together, like I will always have love for him because he was a part of my life for a decade, okay? But just because we're not together, it doesn't mean I don't love him any less, but I'm just not in love with him anymore. Like, it's just nothing. I don't know how to explain it, but like I say, you know, it's just like more like loving him like a brother, or loving him from afar, or just loving him because he's just a human being. And for me, I'm just a type of woman where I love anybody. That's just me, okay? And he's just part of those category people where he's like, okay, you're that person, okay, good, I love you too. It's kind of like that, but again, no hard feelings. And that's just pretty much my definition of love. If you guys have your own definition of love, please let me know. And let me know if you agree with my definition too, especially the chicken nuggets. But because, man, if someone give me the last piece of that chicken nugget, okay, you keep it then. Anyways, let's move on to the next lesson that I learned after divorce. This is just the typical saying that people always say is number 4, it will be, their action speaks louder than their words. Plain and simple, right? If they're shit talking, saying a whole bunch of things, saying that, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to change, and they're going to have this wonderful life with you, and they're going to solve all the issues as in the relationship, or whatever, they're just bullshitting, right? But they're not acting on it. They're not performing, or they're not showing you that they're changing, that they want better. They're not making their ways to actually aligned with their words. I'm one of those people that believe in that. If people say one thing, please do it. If you're just gonna shit talk and not actually show me, then I can't take you seriously. And you guys, you have to see that. You have to believe their actions. Let's say if they're not going to say anything, they do it. Okay, cool. Because they're actually physically doing it. But if they're saying that, okay, I'll take out the trash in 30 minutes. 30 minutes later, the trash is still there. It's like, so why are you lying? Or why are you giving me hopes that you're actually going to do it? It's kind of like a man saying that, okay, I'm going to propose to you within a year. Okay, a year went by. How come you're not proposing? Are you just lying to me? Are you then? And then I'm gonna have to question about that. But overall, it's plain and simple. Watch out for their actions and watch out for their words too, because if the action and the words don't align, move along. Number 5, and lastly, love is not enough for both people to survive in a relationship. I say that you need to be compatible. So Lost Boy told me that one time where he and his dad took a drive somewhere in St. Paul, wherever they were going, and his dad told him that, make sure that you're with someone that you're compatible with. And when we were having our own issues, he brought that up, and he said that, well, dad told me that I need to find somebody who is compatible with me, and I don't think we're compatible. And I have that same pause break when he told me that he wasn't in love with me. Like he loved me, but he wasn't in love with me. I have that same pause break. Like my life took a pause, and I'm like, so we're not compatible. I'm like, well, we like music. I think that was it. We like music. That was it. And so like at that point, like I just brushed it off as if it's like, okay, whatever, but I have to say that, he was actually right. He was actually right that we weren't compatible. He likes anime. I don't like anime. He likes spicy food. I don't like spicy food. He likes to go to like convention center and do anime stuff. I don't want to fucking do that shit. He likes to watch certain movies and series on Netflix. I didn't like to watch none of the stuff that he be watching. What else? I wanted to grow as a person. He didn't want to grow as a person. So yeah, I have to say, Lost Boy, you are correct in that. We were never compatible. And thank you for telling me that. I mean, I should have believed you then and there, and we would have been just like done and over with. But I was so hopeful and stupid. But I'll have to say thank you for telling me that we weren't compatible. And to be compatible, you have to have the same values, the same morals, the same standards, the same belief. Pretty much have the same similar thing in order to be compatible. And if you guys are not compatible, and there's certain things that you're like, you're like on the fence of, you guys are not compatible. And please don't waste your time being with someone that you know that you're not supposed to be with, okay? And I get it. It's really lonely, and you want somebody there. You can't be alone by yourself. But if you are with someone that you're not compatible with, and you're just there because you need somebody, yeah, that relationship is not going to work. You're just holding on to a thin rope, basically. Overall, to end on that note, that is number 5 and the final of what I learned after my divorce. I'm pretty sure there's so many things, but those are a few things that I am strongly remembering, and that kind of like had an effect on me and what I learned, and I will keep that into consideration when I meet that new person, basically. So let's move on to the second portion of this episode, is being single now. What am I doing as a single woman? What am I currently doing? And I have a couple of those to share with you guys. I have 5 of those. So the first one is, me working on my brain, body, and brand. If you guys check out Tony Gaskin, he talks more about that, where you're working on your brain. So pretty much for me, continuing to expand my knowledge by, just watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, searching for truth and answers, because that's just me. If I'm nosy and curious and I want to learn things as to why things are the way it is and have an understanding of it, I'm always researching about that. And again, just expanding my knowledge, know a whole lot more than what I know now, and just watching things that will create positive energy towards me, and just anything that's positive, that's pertaining to healing, self-love, self-journey, all that good stuff. So that's what I'm working on in my brain. As for my body, I'm trying my best to eat healthy, trying to cut off certain food that's not good for me, like processed sugar, just trying to eat and be in a healthy lifestyle. Working out as well. I hate working out, you guys, but I know that in the long run, it will help me, and it will help my body be in the best shape that it can be. And I know if I work hard and I'm dedicated to working my butt off to get the body that I want, I'm pretty sure I will get there. It's just that I'm so lazy, and I do have other things that I am working on, but eventually once I'm done with that, then I will go back to working out. But as of now, I've been, using my work break to walk around the building for 20 to 30 minutes. As long as I'm moving my body, it could be walking, it could be just a simple thing, that's good enough for me already. And like I mentioned, I'm feeding my mind with positive things. I'm also buying clothes that will look good on me and my body shape, wearing makeup. I hardly wear makeup at work because we're not allowed to, but the weekend, if I just feel like, I want to look pretty, then put on a makeup. Even if I'm not going anywhere, just put on makeup. And also, of course, doing nails as well too, because you guys know me, like I'm in a process of getting my license, and so nail is also one of those things where it's self-love, it's self-healing for myself. I enjoy doing it, and I'm in the zone. So doing nails definitely, is one of the things I'm doing to work on my body. And then, of course, the last one is brand. Like I just mentioned earlier, I do have my own press-on nail business, and I do plan in the future to expand it where I have my own salon. Now, that is just something that's in the future. It's not something that's going to happen quickly, just because my thing is that, as much as me being a single woman, it's still kind of hard trying to manage finances and trying to create something of your own. I don't know how some people do it, but for me, I'm just taking my time. I'm not rushing the process. I'm trying my best to make sure that whatever I'm doing is correct. I'm not violating anything. As of now, I'm working on getting my license to be a nail tech. That way, I can use my license to its advantage, and also potentially open my own small nail shop owned by me, of course. So that's what I'm doing on my brand side, along with this podcast as well too. So with this podcast, like I mentioned earlier on the episode, is to help bring awareness to those who's been through the same situation as me, or you just want more info on what life is like after a divorce, or how to handle certain things. What else? Being able to live a single life, because I know some people can't live a single life, and or they're just too scared to take that leap. And I am here to help you navigate towards any of those things, and just be one of those people that can use my voice to help you guys in return. So that's what I'm doing on my brand. So again, working on my brain, body, and brand. The second one would be me being a single woman. I am going out with friends and meeting new people. It is important when you're a single man or a woman for you to go out with friends, make time for them. I know that even my friends even mentioned to me that when you were married to the ex, you hardly come out, and I thought that I didn't do that. Maybe I wasn't aware, but as of now, I've been going out with them, making time for them. And I do miss hanging out with them too, but it's just I don't know, it's just weird because when you get yourself into a relationship, you just lose yourself, and it's to the point where you just don't have time for anybody, or you just make excuses, and again, like I always tell my friend, I'm not trying to make excuses, but if they have something going on, or if I have something going on, definitely I will come out and spend time with them. Like I said, all these single men and women out there, make time with your friends, and also make time meeting new people as well too. If you're meeting new singles, like new single man, new single woman, even if you're just meeting to create a friendship or a relationship, that's totally fine, but be open-minded to meeting new people. And then let's say if you're not ready to start like an exclusive relationship, you don't have to, you just take your time, but also you have to communicate with the person who you have interest with, or they have interest with you, that you're not interested in having that exclusive relationship. You just want to connect, you just want to meet new friends, and you just want to network basically, and that's totally fine. Make sure that you just put yourself out there and just have a good time meeting people and spending time with people. And it doesn't have to be spending time with friends, but also spend time with your family as well too. Make sure that whatever they're doing, you're also a part of it as well. Spending time with people besides yourself that and you love, okay? And then the third one for me is I love spoiling myself. I love shopping for, woman things. Like for me, I love shoes, I love heels, I love sneakers, I love handbags. I have a whole collection of them. I love nail polish. I love anything girly, basically, or just anything that pertains to feminine stuff, okay? Like spoil yourself, okay? If you don't spoil yourself, then who else is going to spoil you? Let's say you meet somebody and they are capable of spoiling you, even better. But it starts with you. If you want to invest in yourself, or if you have like a hobby that you are interested in, or you're just those type of person that likes to go shopping like me, spoil yourself. Expensive or not expensive, it doesn't matter, as long as you're happy and you're enjoying the things that you're buying. Go for it. That's what I'm doing. Like, hey, take advantage of it, because I would. The fourth one would be setting goals to be achievable. What I mean by that is that can pertain to the first one, where working on my brain, body, and brand. That could be that, or it could just be setting goals of what I see myself within a week, a month, a year, just whatever goals that you have that you want to achieve. If you have a vision of something, like for me, for example, I have a vision of opening my own self salon, right? But at the same time, I also want to own like my own commercial building, and also live above my salon. That's a goal that will happen years from now, and I have to just set up a goal as to how am I going to get there, what are the requirements to get there, how much money do I need to save. Like, just set goals for yourself to achieve. That way, because when you have that vision, you want that vision to come to real life, come to reality. Instead of dreaming about your goals, and instead of having visions of your goals or your dreams, turn it into a reality, so that it's actually right in front of you, and it's actually happening. So that's why I say, set goals for yourself. It could be something small, it could be something big, whatever goals you have that you want to achieve, go ahead and write those down and actually do them. The last one would be taking myself on a date, or just going on a date by myself. You guys, I'm not gonna lie, it's super hard for me to actually take myself out on a date. Like, I'd rather just be at home and just DoorDash. That's just me. I love my home. I love the comfort of my home. That's one of the things that I want to work on, is get myself ready, pick a restaurant, and just eat by myself and enjoy my own company. That is going to be a challenge for me. And if you are listening and you are on the same boat as me, where it's hard for you to take yourself out on a date and to enjoy your own food by yourself, let me know. I mean, if you're single and you want like a company, whatever, like, I'm here. Just let me know. Like, hit me up. But that is something I definitely want to do. And if I do it, I will let you guys know. It's gonna be scary, but I know that I have to do it so that I can just do it, get it done, over with, face my fucking fear, and just be done with it, and make it so that I am comfortable doing it. But as of right now, I haven't done that yet. Eventually I will get there. Oh, and then I also want to add another thing is I do want to travel. Me being 32, I wished I could have traveled to different places, but I just felt like I have a hard time saving money and managing my money, I guess, because like I said, I love shopping, but I feel like me being single, I should definitely use money wisely for traveling expenses. I would love to go to places, and that similar to taking myself on a date, like, I would love to try solo traveling and see how that is. Yes, it is scary, but that's something that I keep thinking about. Like, Drew, you should do it. Like, you should just do it. But you guys are so scary and so hard. Like, I just need somebody to like push me, or hey, like, somebody could just like travel with me. I'm fine with that too. Because I feel like the reason why I kind of hesitate to travel by myself is because, I'm at home already. I'm at peace. I kind of figure that if I go like up north, or if I go somewhere like in the woods, in the cabin by myself, it's just the same thing as me staying at home. Like, I want to travel in order to try like new things, like new events, or like new activities, or just have like a bunch of people there and where we just do something together, like, I'm already by myself, and if I were to travel outside, like, I'm already traveling. I'm already in my own space already, and it's kind of like it doesn't make sense to just go travel and then be by yourself again. I don't know. Am I making sense? Let me know if I'm making sense. I do love to travel with other people. It's just that as of now, I still have certain things that I have to finish, like my license to be a nail tech. And then from there, hopefully, eventually, I'll start thinking about travel places, or places where I want to travel. Yes, that was the last thing that I wanted to add for things that I am currently doing or will be doing as a single woman. All right, you guys, that is all that I have for this portion of the episode. Hopefully, you guys loved all of the information that I've given you and what I am currently, learning about myself. Hopefully you guys have an insight of what I've learned, lessons that I've learned after my divorce, and what I'm currently doing as a single woman. And I know that throughout my episode, I've been, bashing and talking shit. I don't mean to be so negative, you guys, but I'm letting you guys know I'm in a good space, in a positive mind space, okay? It's just me just giving examples of what I've been through, and hopefully you guys are entertained by it or you're just here to see what I am up to. And again, The purpose of this podcast is just to bring awareness and also for me to continue to do my healing. And I'm just letting you guys know, like when I do an outline of my episodes and like I go through each of the points, and I do have my own crying sessions just because when you think back about all those things that happened to you and you have to relive those moments, it does get to me. And even though I don't sound like I am like emotional or crying, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's going to be other episodes out there in the future where you guys will hear me being in my vulnerable stage, okay? And I will let you guys know on a heads up. But I'm just letting you guys know that, this is healing for me. Healing for me that, I can actually finally be in tune with my emotions and let my emotions go. And instead of just holding it all in, that I'm able to share my experience with you guys and cry in the background and not record myself. But sooner or later, like there are a couple of topics that I will go through that will make me be vulnerable, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it and understand where I'm coming from, basically. But overall, that is all that I have for that portion. The next portion that I have, as always, is Dear Sister Letters. Again, if you want to send me a Dear Sister Letters and poems via Google Doc, you can find both links on my Facebook page. I will be reading submissions and responding to them at the very end of each episode. So if I get any of them, I will definitely read it. If not, it's okay. But if you have any feedbacks that you want to let me know, or just extra questions that you're not understanding from my episodes, definitely let me know. Or you just want to share your side of the story and issues that you have in your life and that you would want my input, just let me know. Write to me. And again, I have the Google Doc linked in my Facebook page. Aside from that, let's go straight to the last portion, which is poem. I've decided to find this poem, randomly on Google, like always. Who doesn't love Google? I love Google, okay? It has everything. But this is a poem that I found on Google. It was written by Ashley Perkins. The title is called Lesson Learned. In this life, I've learned a lot of things, never knowing what you're going to get or what people may bring. They promise to love you and they promise to care. And in a split second, they're not there. You see, a person who seems so true, not even knowing what you're getting into. Love is an action with passion and desire. You turning around and hate puts out the ring of fire. You need to be loved just as much as you give. Remember, there's only one life to live. It's yours. Turn it into something great. It'll never be perfect because everyone makes mistakes. We all long for something so pure. Our hearts tells us to wait. It's too much to endure. We fall in the pit, never know when our light's going to go out. We look up and there's a man walking about. Is this him? Is this darkness getting lighter? I see his face and my whole world gets brighter. And just as I thought it was just a fake, now there are choices and decisions I have to make. And again, thanks you guys so much for always tuning in and supporting me by listening or by sharing. Like I always say towards the end of my episode, I truly appreciate you guys for all of that. And hopefully you guys learn a little bit about me and what I am currently going through. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.